Hi, welcome to this latest edition in my Facts About series. And today I'm moving on to Anne of Cleves, who was, of course, the fourth wife of King Henry VIII. And I thought I'd share with you today some interesting facts about her. So let's start. Number 1. Anne of Cleves was descended from the kings of England and of France. Her father, John III, Duke of Cleves, was also King Louis XII of France's first cousin once removed, as Louis's mother was Marie of Cleves. The family were also related to the Dukes of Burgundy. Number 2. Anne's paternal grandfather, John II, Duke of Cleves, was nicknamed the Baby Maker due to him fathering over 60, I think it's around about 63, illegitimate children before he got married to Anne's grandmother. Number 3. Anne's father was nicknamed the Simple. Number 4. Anne was brought up by her Catholic mother, and her father also seems to have been more Catholic than Lutheran in his outlook. Number 5. Anne had 2 sisters, Sibylla and Amalia, and 1 brother, William. Number 6. Prior to their marriage, King Henry VIII sent a lady, a Mistress Gilman, to Anne in Cleves to begin teaching her English. Number 7. Henry VIII never called Anne a Flanders Mare. The phrase only dates back to the 17th century when Gilbert Burnet, Bishop of Salisbury, wrote in his 1679 book that Henry swore they had brought over a Flanders mare to him. But that is the bishop saying that Henry VIII uttered those words, and it is not at all backed up by any contemporary evidence. And Anne wasn't even from Flanders, something that the king was well aware of. Number 8. Anne was not ugly. Ambassador Christopher Mont reported that everyone praises the lady's beauty, both of face and body. One said that she excelled the Duchess, that's the Duchess of Milan, as the golden sun did the silver moon. And Holbein's miniature of her was said to be a good likeness by those who'd met Anne. Also, those who'd met her prior to Henry VIII seeing her, such as the king's best friend, the Duke of Suffolk, were not at all concerned by her appearance. Number 9. Anne was keen to please Henry VIII. When her journey to England was held up at Calais, she asked the Earl of Southampton to teach her a card game that the king enjoyed. Number 10. Anne's motto as queen was, "God send me well to keep," and these words were engraved on her wedding ring. Number 11. As well as Catherine Howard, Anne's ladies included Lady Margaret Douglas, Catherine Brandon, Duchess of Suffolk, Mary Howard, who was the widow of the king's illegitimate son Henry Fitzroy, and Jane Boleyn, Lady Rochford. Number 12. Anne's marriage to the king was annulled on 3 different grounds. Number 1, a pre-contract between Anne and Francis of Lorraine. Number 2, Henry's lack of consent to the marriage. And number 3, lack of consummation. Number 13. Although convocations stated that both the king and Anne were free to marry following the annulment of their marriage, this was impossible for Anne, as one of the grounds for the annulment was her pre-contract with the Duke of Lorraine. If this was enough to make her marriage to the king invalid, it would also make any other union invalid. Number 14. At New Year 1541, when the king was married to Anne's former lady, Catherine Howard, Anne was invited to court. She gave the king 2 horses in mauve velvet trappings, and after the king had retired for the night, Anne danced with Queen Catherine. When Catherine received a gift of a ring and 2 dogs from the king, she passed them on to Anne. Number 15. In 1541, there were rumours that Anne had given birth to the king's son. The King's Council had to investigate the matter, and those who'd spread the rumours were examined and taken into custody. There's no evidence at all that Anne had a baby. They were just vicious rumours. Number 16. Anne Boleyn wasn't the only Queen Anne to live at Hever. Anne of Cleves was granted the lease of Hever following the annulment of her marriage to Henry VIII. And, contrary to myth, she did live there. How do we know that? Well, because she signed letters from there. Number 17. Anne enjoyed experimenting with cooking. We know from Sir Thomas Cardan's papers that at her manor at Dartford, he provided sundry kinds of fish, such as carp, pike and tench, for Anne's trial of cookery, so experiments with cooking. And these took place in the laundress's kitchen rather than the main kitchen. So Anne was enjoying experimenting with cookery in private, away from the public kitchen. Number 18. Anne and her brother, the Duke of Cleves, thought that she'd be reinstated as queen following Catherine Howard's fall, and Karl Hast, her brother's ambassador, was instructed to seek to reconcile the Duke's sister with the king. Number 19. Anne was just 41 years old when she died on the 16th of July, 1557. However, she did outlive King Henry VIII and all of his other wives. Number 20, the final fact about this fascinating lady, Anne of Cleves. Anne is the only one of Henry VIII's wives to be buried at Westminster Abbey. Now, I do hope you enjoyed those facts, and I hope there were at least a few that you didn't know. She really is a fascinating lady. Thank you for joining me. Do subscribe by clicking round about there. You can hit the bell to be notified as my videos go live, and you can give me a like and leave me a comment. I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.